And now, dispatches from the general.
Wow, shout out, this is big, folks. Former Vice President Joe Biden, who will be calling into the show a little bit later.
So cool.
He, like everyone else, is quarantining right now, so we'll hear what he has to say. He's done a lot of interviews today. Hopefully he's not too burnt out. Shout out to all the emotional support humans tuning into the podcast like never before. In quarantine, Earth is closed for business right now. But we're leaving the light on here. Thick Skin with Jeff Ross. Stay strong, stay clean, stay home, stay healthy, stay positive. These days I find myself praying to the Self-Church of Brody Stevens. Hashtag positive energy. Hashtag push and believe. Hashtag you got it. It's a global pandemic. You're not in it alone, folks. Shout out to everybody who's out of work. Unemployment, the highest in America since the Great Depression. I feel bad for everybody who's unemployed, but I feel bad for the one group of artists that will never work again. Shout out to the magicians who do close-up magic.
Oh.
It's over, guys. It's over. Close-up magic is, I mean, you know, no one's letting you get that close anymore. Pick a card. Fuck you. Pick your own card. Get your dirty fingers out of my ear. I don't have a quarter in there. Pull a quarter out of your own ear. Amazing, whatever your name is. Folks, reach out to your friends. Instead of texting, hit them up on FaceTime. Shout out to Zoom and Marco Polo helping us all stay connected. And our family uses Marco Polo to get in touch with each other.
It's very nice. I haven't heard this much from the family in years.
It's a lot of fun. And Zoom parties. My girlfriend and I, we did shrooms and drank with our friends on Zoom last night. I highly recommend Zoom parties. And if you're a comedian or just a funny person, it's your duty to make people laugh in times like this. And stay romantic. Sunday nights in my house, it's date night. We order in. Support the local restaurants if you can. I went to the grocery store, bought my lady some flowers for the crib. A little bit goes a long way. That's what my Pop Jack used to say.
It's very nice.
Shout out to all the Bumping Mics fans. Our tour dates have been rescheduled in Vegas, Atlantic City, Waukegan, Illinois, Des Moines, Iowa, Kansas City, all in July and August. Let's do this. August, Morristown, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Tarrytown, New York. We're really going to do this. I'm having faith that everything is going to go forward. I need something to look forward to, so I'm putting all these dates, and David Tell and I will be back on the road July, August, September. Bumping Mics. Go to roastmastergeneral.com and pick up your tickets or just see what's going on. A big standing ovation to the late, great songwriter Bill Withers. We'll be honoring him with a roast in peace at the end of today's show. Shout out to the many thousands of listeners who bought into our April Fool's interview with Joe Exotic from Tiger King. Even TMZ was fooled. First person to call me was Harvey Levin from TMZ, thinking I really interviewed Joe Exotic.
That's unbelievable.
It was a crazy fun day. Do you people honestly think I'd give that fucking nut job Joe Exotic airtime? Come on. Get the fuck out of here. I love animals. Shout out to Rona, a.k.a. Nana Rona, my new foster dog that we're fostering over here. We'll tell that story on the podcast today. I've never fostered a dog before, but since I'm home, I felt like it would be a fun thing to do, and I love her, even though she smells like King Kong's asshole. All right, let's start the show. Hoo-ha! Shout out to my emotional support humans. You know where you are. You are hunkered down. I need you right now, man. So thank you. Thank you. I can't come to my live shows, so I need you guys to hit me up. dickskinwithjeffross@gmail. Write us a note. Maybe we'll read it on the podcast. How you doing, Ed?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Cousin Ed is looking good.
Feeling all right. I've exercised 5 times.
Really? What kind of exercise?
I did yoga twice.
Really?
And I have run around the park 3 times.
You didn't tell me you did yoga. I've been trying to get you to do yoga for God knows how long.
I fucking hate it.
Really?
And I hope I never do it again.
I told you never do yoga. Why do you hate it?
I don't stretch well. I never did. I can't touch my toes.
You don't have to touch your toes. I can't touch my toes.
It's very frustrating. Jogging, I have a mission.
Who did you do yoga with?
Julie and the television.
Huh.
Yeah. It was nice. I could see why people like it, but the guy was moving too fast. He said it was for beginners.
You can't do the TV.
You know, it was
No.
It was driving me crazy. I was going nuts.
You can't keep up. You have to. The thing about that I like, one of the things I like about yoga is that it's not judgmental. Some of the best, especially hot yoga, it's dark, the lights are dim, and it's a flow that if you want to take a break and just lay there, you can just pick it up again.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you missed anything. So you can go at your own pace, and I would take breaks. Now I just sort of fart around doing yoga at home. I don't take it as seriously. I want to get back into it, but it would be better to watch those videos to learn the moves.
Yeah.
And then do the yoga at your own pace. In other words, think of it as a how-to tutorial, not necessarily in real time that you would do the class. Yeah. That's how I think you should start. Those videos where you're like trying to keep up and you're just stumbling around, it'd be like learning a language by listening to a conversation in real time. You got to stop and try it out.
I definitely still take like a football practice approach to working out. There's like jumping jacks and like toe touches and running a bunch and then sprints and jump rope.
It's great. That's all right.
You know, that to me, that's what working out is. Yoga, I just get frustrated and mad for some reason. And I don't know, I'm such like a easygoing person. And so for yoga, the most peaceful thing in the world to piss me off seemed pretty bizarre. But
I think it's an adjustment, but I think where there's a will, there's a way. And the fact that you've done it twice means that there's a will. So now I will lead you, young grasshopper. I see many crow positions in your future.
All right, Friday, let's do it.
Yoga is also a good way to like get your blood flowing. Like talk about positive energy. It really is a nice way to get your endorphins going and think good thoughts. I was a little bummed this week, and that's why I came up with a new segment for the podcast. I think you're going to like this, Ed.
I'm excited. You told me a little bit about it.
You know, it's a good time to reach out to friends. If you're feeling blue, reach out to your emotional support humans. And whenever I'm feeling down in the dumps, I reach out to my comedian friends. And there's nobody who's funnier than the great Gilbert Gottfried. You all know his amazing Colossal podcast. You can see him in movies. He makes cameos for people. But I just know him as good old Gil. And I know that he's quarantining with his family, and he's been doing a lot of sort of children's humor and stuff. And I thought for the parents out there, you know, and maybe to help me feel, you know, to snap me out of my funk, I was wondering if you, Gilbert, hi, Gil.
Hi.
I was wondering if maybe, you know, since you've been hanging out with the family and everybody's quarantined with their families, maybe that you could tell us a good family joke to sort of make people feel better.
Okay. What's more gross than fucking a pregnant girl? Having the fetus give you a blowjob.
That's perfect, Gilbert. That is really perfect.
The kids love that one.
I love you, buddy. You're a legend.
I love you.
Say hi to the kids for me.
Okay.
All right. Don't forget to wear underpants around the house, Gilbert. Thank you, pal. All right. The double G.
Dude.
Love it.
Man, Gilbert's the best person in the world.
He really is.
So you got to tell me, I met the dog. I love it. Nana Rona?
Well, Rona, because we got her in the time of Corona.
Oh, I thought it was a nod to Cousin Rona.
No.
Oh.
I mean, I love Cousin Rona, so I love the name Rona. And I think there'll be a time where it's not really about coronavirus. Like, this time it's like, it's Rona.
I can't believe I thought it wasn't about coronavirus.
Yeah. Shout out to Cousin Rona. And then as this foster dog got, I started to get to know her personality a little bit. Pal took her to the vet, and she has a limp, and she's blind, and we got her painkillers for her now, and like her personality, like she's a little more playful. She doesn't see very well, but I realized like she's a nana. This is an old lady dog.
Yeah.
Who's happy to sit around 19, 20 hours of
She's
sleep.
Huge.
She's a big German Shepherd. And apparently she was living on the street for a week or so, just tied up outside with food on the floor. And she was with another dog that may or may not have been her daughter, 3-year-old. And that dog seems to have disappeared to who knows, but somehow my girl showed up with this smelly, mangy mutt that had flies, and Luna, our dog was so mad when this.
Are you giving her special treatment?
Luna is she's demanding special treatment.
She deserves it.
She's letting me know that she's the boss around here. Basically started barking at this dog and looked at me like, why did you bring this homeless crack whore into my palace? I'm like, Luna's a good girl, but we have to help out this stray, this old German Shepherd, and she really does. She smells. She really does smell. Fostering a dog is a commitment. And, now that we kind of got her cleaned up a little bit, and she has all kinds of bumps on her body, and
she's an old girl.
Her Achilles heel's broken, so she really only kind of walks on 3 legs and sort of drags the other leg. And I'm thinking of putting her to work as a bomb sniffer, because if she blows up, who cares? She's going to die soon anyway. But she really is super cute. She really is super cute. And these dogs are so funny. You know how it is. They're so cute. They lay there with you. They love you. But in the back of both of our heads all the time, the dog's heads and our heads, is like the lingering fact that they could tear your face off at any second. It's like sleeping with a loaded gun.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, any dog could really, I mean, we're talking about
you could do the same thing.
100-pound German Shepherd, and Luna's a 80, 70-pound Dutch Shepherd, which is like a German Shepherd, but doesn't bark at Jews. But they're fun. Luna's starting to get used to it, and, fostering a dog, I was excited for it, and it is a good experience, but I don't know how long it could be really.
So you're fostering, you're not adopting.
That's correct.
So we should get rid of this dog.
No, you want to try to.
Let's get rid of. I mean, you live in the LA area. You hit us up at thickskinwithjeffross@gmail.com. You can get yourself a damn old German Shepherd.
Fuck you! No one's taking my dog. How dare you? Man, you think about the things that happen in your life, and every now and then you have to stop and look in the mirror and go, wow, this is really happening to me. Our this podcast has been growing and growing and getting more and more popular and influential. And when I got the email saying that we were going to be able to talk to the presumed Democratic nominee for this upcoming presidential election, I was like, it was a jaw-dropping moment.
Amy Klobuchar?
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, Ed, but big fan of this guy. He's dedicated almost his entire life to the United States of America. I met him before, briefly, at some events, but never got to talk to him at length. So, with no further ado, let's get him on the line here, if we can. The former Vice President of these United States. What an honor, Mr. Joe Biden. I don't know if
the honor is all yours. Let me tell you, pal.
Well, I know you just got off the phone with President Trump. I know you wanted to talk to him about the pandemic, and I was wondering how the call went.
I thought that was maybe him calling back because it went bad.
Ooh.
It went bad. It went south faster than a goose flying back to Canada. Let me tell you what, that son of a bitch, Trump was on the line, and I said, look, pal, zip it up. We got to figure out this body bag situation. We got to get this coronavirus under control. Give me a little space to handle it myself.
Huh.
And all he wanted to do is talk shit about my son. He said, you're Hunter Biden, this and that. And I had to agree with him on those points.
So you had sort of some mutual agreement on certain things.
I'm losing the signal. I'm not.
All right. Well, he seems to have disconnected himself. Eddie, let's try him back. Do you have the number? All right, here we go.
All right, we got another call coming in here. Let me tell you something, Sam.
Yes, sir.
Jeff. Whoever was on the line just now, I couldn't tell what he looked like, but he had a fat voice.
Mr. Vice President, I'm really trying so hard not to take any of this personally.
This is the same guy. Listen, pal, you got a voice that sounds like 5 boiled eggs bouncing up and down on each other.
That reminds me, do you and Dr. Biden, your wife, have any Easter plans? Are you making Easter eggs? Is that why you have eggs on the mind, Mr. Vice President?
We're making it.
No. Please, sir, don't cough into your hand. Please don't cough into your hand, Mr.
You don't tell me how to cough into my hand. If I want to cough into my hand backwards, I'll do it. I'm making Easter eggs right here, right now, as we speak.
Well, what do you...
Each one lovingly handled. You got to handle them carefully with both hands.
Yep.
And here, okay. We got a whole pile of broken Easter eggs, but they're colored. They're nice, cute little colors, pastels, lavender pastel colors, little bunnies on the side of them. They're all broken. We're going to take this tray of mess over to the local hospital and cheer people up with some eggs. Some broken.
You got to break some eggs to make an omelet, Mr. Vice President. I just wanted
That's right. I got to go. I got this tray of broken Easter eggs and yolk shells and some paint slapping down the side of me. I got to make my rounds. I go to all the hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
I go to all the hospitals in Delaware, like Patch Adams. And I go
Really?
around and I cheer people up by throwing. I'm going to throw broken Easter eggs at them and say, "Hey, cheer up for the love of Christ."
I don't mean to laugh, Mr. Vice President, but the idea of you visiting a hospital during this pandemic does not sound wise.
I'm physically fit. If I see somebody dying in COVID virus, Corona COVID, I'm going to tell them, hey, you limp dick, get up off of that bed right now. You pull that tube out of your mouth, and you better do push-ups right here, right now. I'm going to challenge each and every one of these wimps to do push-ups right there on the floor. And if they can't, if they can't do at least 5 to 10 push-ups, depending on what the congressional record demands, then I'm going to sit there and slap them in their face until they keel right over right there on the floor.
That's the fire we need, Mr. Vice President. That's going to take the White House in 2020. That kind of fire, Mr. Vice President. Do you have any?
That's right. We're going to win the White. We're going to win the White House. And when I say that, what I mean is we're going to beg for for Trump to make me the next vice president. Because there's no way in hell I'm having a good day on this campaign trail.
Well, you got a lot of people throwing their support behind you. All the younger, the establishment of the Democratic Party, they're all rooting for you, Mr. Vice President. Everybody except one holdout.
We got the establishment wrapped up. That's all you need. You need the establishment. That's fine. We can go into a low turnout election with all kinds of games, with people going to polls, not going to the polls. I'm going to urge everybody out there with symptoms or not symptoms, show up. Show up to the polls. Show up a day early. Show up 2 days early.
Amen. Amen, Mr. Vice President. So you have the establishment vote locked up. What would you say to those Bernie Sanders supporters that don't support you, the progressive wing, the Bernie voters? What would you say to them, Mr. Vice President?
I say fuck them. Those are the kids that are just, they got bumper stickers on their bicycles. That's the kids that play. When we had the Vietnam War, which I did not protest, I was neutral to in favor of it, depending on who you ask. And we had these kids out there. We were trying our best to make sure we had law and order in this country. We had these kids out there smelling like patchouli and pants that had been changed in between several days full of farts. And what we could just kick those kids back down where they came from, outside a drum circle somewhere.
Wow.
Send the Bernie supporters back to drum circle. We're going to win without them. We're going to run a campaign with only people who have a nice house somewhere with a lawn.
Hear, hear. Well said, sir. You have a lot of people rooting for you. I just want to personally thank you and your wife, Dr. Joe Biden, for your years and years of...
Thank you, Wolf. Thank you, Wolf. My wife, I don't care what they say on the Viewpoint. My wife is the best doctor I know. I'm getting the best and only medical advice from my doctor and my wife, Jill Biden.
Beautiful.
She puts the stethoscope in the ears, and she's got the little thing, and she comes up to my chest right here, and she goes, "Wow, when I take a deep breath, boy, oh boy, you sound like a big tough man." And then we start rolling around. We do our calisthenics
whoa, Mr.
Right there on the kitchen floor.
I want to remind you that we're broadcasting live, sir. Be careful about how much personal, I don't want to embarrass you.
She goes into me like a board game operation. She's got little tweezers, and she goes right into me. And if it gets too close to one, everything's been swapped out. All my organs, it's all swapped out. She gets too close to something, it goes just like a game operation. And my red nose, I got a nose that lights up red.
It is Red Nose Day this week.
Look, wait, hold on. My teeth are falling out, and I'm bleeding from my eyes.
Mr. Vice President Joe Biden, I can't thank you enough for calling in to allowing us to call into your home during the quarantine.
Get the glue gun. I need the glue gun. I can't get these goddamn teeth pressed in. We're going to win. We're going to win. Why are we going to win? Because the polls say we're going to win. And you always got to sit back. If the polls say you're winning, you got to sit back and go, that's good enough for me.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. The vice president is a believer in guns. He owns a gun. He has a glue gun for his teeth. All right.
The Second Amendment is for
Go ahead. Fix your teeth, sir. Fix your teeth and then answer the question.
At least I'm not fat. Jeff.
I really like your debate strategy. I think. Are you excited for those debates with the president, Mr. Biden?
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll poke his chest. I'm gonna poke his chest and say, "Hey, listen. You're an orange. You look like an orange fat boy. Nobody's ever said that before."
That's a good one. You stand up to bullies, don't you, Mr. Vice President?
I stand up for bullies. I'll tell you what. I take the tour. I go down to every elementary school in the state. I take a tray of broken Easter eggs, and I find any kids that look like they're that they're not pulling their weight. The kids that looks like they're lousy introverts. These little Buster Browns that look like they got endomorphic body type. And I go, hey, cheer up, Slappy. And I slap an eggshell right at him. There's nothing like a hard egg yolk that'll get somebody out of school at the age of 13 and working like they should.
Wow, you really are putting out some new policy ideas on the show we didn't expect to hear, Mr. Vice President.
Some of those kids are being rough. They're being bullies. They're out there. You never know. There's corn pop. There's a corn pop underneath every ice cream cone.
When you were a kid, I remember reading that you were bullied because you stuttered. Is that true?
Yeah, let me tell you what happened. There was a guy named Corn Pop, and he was a bad, bad dude. And he had pomade in his hair. And I was a lifeguard. And I said, you can't put pomade in your hair. You know, let me tell you something about the dementia that I suffer from. I can't remember my day-to-day business, but the anecdotes that I've decided are important from 50 years ago about a guy who was a person of color. I want to make this very clear. He was a person of color, and I attacked him racistly because he was wearing pomade in the pool, and I was a white lifeguard in a black pool.
Ooh.
And I told him, listen, pal, you better get out. You better slap back off that diamond board there. And boy, oh boy, I taught him a lesson. I sure as hell taught him a lesson. I still check in on him. Deck, he's still alive. I still look him up every year or two, and I say, hey, Corn Pop, you don't shape up, I'm going to come find you again. He's scared. He's scared of me. I win.
Wow. Whew. There's a man prepared for the fight. I got goosebumps listening to that anecdote, Mr. Vice President. Goosebumps. Whew. Do you have a lot of interviews from quarantine?
When you begin the begin, it brings back. Jill is feeding me my medicine, which is she spoon feeds applesauce into my mouth. And she gets closer and closer and closer until one of her tits falls out.
Oh my God.
And I go straight from sucking on applesauce to sucking on one of the loose tits that falls out of her shirt.
Woo.
But I gotta pretend to be a real classy big band from the old days, where it brings back the sound of music so tender. Oh, come right in here. Victories of the land of tropical splendor.
Knock, knock. Mr. Vice President.
Get off me, woman. I got a clean bill of health.
Wow. Okay, well, I feel like we really had a look inside your life and your mind today on The Thick Skin.
Here's my recommendation to anybody out there. You got to have a group of people who are taking care of you. You got to have a group of people that they're quarantining down with you and everything you need done. You need some socks put on. You need somebody putting socks on for you while you touch their hair. You got to have somebody clean up the dribble mess that comes down on top of your tie.
No.
People need to swap out fresh ice cream for melted ice cream.
Mr. Vice
and you
President.
Make sure that you pet every one of them on the back of the head.
No, sir. I feel compelled for somebody who cares about you to remind you about social distancing right now, sir. You cannot get that close to your friends and family and constituents. For the sake of your life, sir, you have to maintain 6 feet.
I'm playing solitaire till dawn with the deck of 51.
All right, well, you heard it here first, folks.
Captain Kangaroo. Don't tell me.
I'd like to thank the Biden campaign for this exclusive interview. Please go to joebiden.com to donate.
If I cough the phlegm hard enough, it might hang up for me without me having to.
All right. Well, you take care of that cough, Mr. Vice President. I think he dropped the line. Democracy in Action. Exclusive interview for you, my emotional support humans.
Man.
Great American.
You're killing it with these interviews, buddy.
Dude, I am the next Barbara Walters. Who's a good interviewer? I'm the next Oprah. Shout out to my good pal, comedian James Adomian. So fucking funny. Check out his podcast. The Underculture comes out every Thursday. Truly hilarious man, James Adomian. Historical roast fans remember him as Freddie Mercury.
Killed it.
On the binge-worthy show, Historical Roasts, currently streaming on Netflix. Highly recommend. Follow James Adomian on Twitter at jadomian and Instagram at jadomian, Adomian. Great guy. Thank you, James. With no further ado, I want to remind people to go to roastmastergeneral.com. Come see me live. In the meantime, let's try to get some laughs out of some of the most brutal news stories out there right now. Ed, it's time for Touchy Subjects.
Touchy Subjects.
The Queen Elizabeth, has addressed her nation for the 5th time ever.
Wow.
That wasn't on Christmas.
Really?
You believe that, man?
Oh. Oh. Oh.
That's how you know this is serious. Here's the other time she addressed the nation.
For the Masked Singer finale.
In 1991 for the Gulf War.
Right, that makes sense.
And then in 97 for the death of Princess Diana. 2002 for the death of her mother. And in 2012 for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee.
Ooh, sounds delicious. Have you tried the Queen's Jubilee, Mum?
It's made out of diamonds. It's most expensive Jubilee.
Ooh. I don't even like Jews. I love the Queen. She's had that job since she's in her 20s. She's in her 90s. Who has that kind of staying power, stay somewhat relevant, where she has to calm a nervous UK? The Prime Minister is in the ICU with coronavirus, Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
And the Queen is like, this is my time to calm the people. It is crazy to see all the things that happened in the 40s and 50s happening again now. Like Elizabeth's uncle abdicated the throne to her father. That's how she got in line for the throne. And that's happening now with these like other royals who are quitting and moving to Canada and Los Angeles. Meghan Markle and Harry.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable that people even still bow to the Queen and still think this is a thing. They're just rich people who...
Yeah.
I mean, she's a remarkable woman in that she's dedicated her life to the country, and, you know, it's fun to watch The Crown and see how it all works. But...
what's the American version of her family?
No, there's no equivalent. That's what's so remarkable. That's why it works. Still happens. The Queen, she's in her 90s, and then Prince Charles becomes King Charles, but he's already, you know, kind of up there, and then his son, William, will take over.
Yeah. So we'll see him at some point, William. Prince Charles, I mean, do you think he's really going to become king, or is he just going to step aside? I guess he's been waiting his whole damn life.
His whole fucking life. He's going to get a couple good years in there as the king.
Is he in the crown? Or is he
Yes,
too young?
he's there as a boy.
As a boy?
Yeah, and now I'm on an episode in season 2 where he's off to college or high school or whatever, junior high school, and he's having a rough go of it. He's a frail boy, a fragile boy. Papa has to come give him a good talking to, a good Swiss talking to. can't I go to Eton, like near you and Mummy, so I could live near you and Mummy? Why do I have to go off to? Yeah, so they send him off to this rough and tumble man school, and he doesn't want to be there. He's a little prince.
Yeah, he's a prince.
But I don't want to spoil it, but they're all still alive. Like, it's kind of nice seeing how it all went down, and I highly recommend this show. I highly recommend The Crown.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I thought it was about a dental procedure, so I was very relieved to see that it's not at all, that it's about the monarchy in England and through the decades. So shout out to Queen Elizabeth, who calmed her nervous nation.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what's next, Ed?
All right, this story is literally groundbreaking.
Yeah.
A woman seeking expert advice on an old bottle stopper, mortified to learn what it is. It's a butt plug.
Really?
Oh, yeah. A 61-year-old church-going collector named Jane posted an image of what she thought was an old bottle stopper to an antiques Facebook group.
Really?
After she found it washed up in her garden after a storm.
Wow. As if people need another reason to wash their hands right now. Hey, I found this butt plug in my garden. She thought it was a bottle stopper.
Yeah. She's quoted saying, I got a friend of my sister that came across this solid glass piece. Since she can't figure it out what she reached out to me, and I'm reaching out to all of you, hoping to get an idea of what it is. Only thing coming to mind, it's either a bottle stopper or a decanter or possibly a chess piece. She posted, and Mary.
How old is she?
They're 61 years old.
A bottle stopper was her stripper name. Wow.
People were quick to point out to her that what she found was actually a butt plug. So.
If this old lady liked gardening before, she's really going to fucking love it now. All right. What's next, Ed?
All right. Alton, Illinois' mayor sent out cops to break up parties because of social distancing.
Right.
And they found his wife at one of them.
Really? Oh, my gosh. And they told him.
Oh, yeah. Mayor Brent Walker said, "These are very serious times, and I'm begging you to stay at home. Parents, please keep your kids at home during this vital time to our health."
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
In her defense, she wasn't out partying. She was just fucking the bartender.
Well, he didn't ease up on her because she's his wife either. Mayor Walker said, "My wife is an adult capable of making her own decisions, and in this instance, she exhibited stunning lack of judgment. She will face the same consequences for her ill-advised decision as the others caught at the event." Yeah.
I like how he still managed to work in the word stunning. Talking about his wife. Good going, Mayor. Good going. Shout out to all the mayors and all the governors.
Yeah. Police broke up the party early on Sunday morning at Hiram's Tavern. The owner was arrested for an outstanding warrant for domestic battery, while the others in attendance were cited for reckless conduct.
Thanks for bumming out that story. What's next?
Charlotte abortion clinic protesters are cited with violating an order prohibiting large gatherings. That's right. A bunch of people outside an abortion clinic protesting the people going inside to get their health care were charged with a large gathering. Police issued a dozen citations and made arrests outside a women's clinic in Southeast Charlotte. There are about 50 people congregating outside a preferred women's health center.
Wow.
And the police asked for compliance, but 12 refused to leave. All of them received citations, and 8 were so unruly that they went to jail.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
They were exercising their choice to be idiots. Let's all get together and do a protest during coronavirus. What?
Take a break from being an asshole for just a moment.
You're not going to church. It's closed. So you're going to go to an abortion clinic? And if you were ever going to get the fucking virus, you know it's from those women. They're all fucking at the abortion clinic. Shout out to all the people who work at the clinics. You're brave. What's next, Ed?
2 pandas at an empty zoo under coronavirus quarantine finally had sex with each other after 10 years of being together. That's right. 2 pandas at the Hong Kong Zoo, Ying Ying and Li Li, finally mated after 10 years. The empty Hong Kong Zoo provided great environment for the 2 pandas to breed. Pandas are notoriously rare breeders. Images released by the park, which has been empty of visitors since January 26 due to coronavirus, show the black and white beast embracing and doing the deed.
Putting the panda in pandemic. They finally had the zoo to themselves, and they finally got intimate after 10 years. Wow.
Good for them, man.
They're going to do a porno movie called Cum-Filled Panda.
One last story.
Yeah.
In New Zealand, the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy are deemed essential employees.
Of course.
Jacinda Ardern, the country's prime minister, made the announcement this week that both the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy are essential workers and that children in New Zealand should expect the usual yearly services from them. As you can imagine, at this time, of course, they're going to be particularly quite busy at their home with their family as well as their own bunnies.
How much hand sanitizer do you think the Tooth Fairy uses in a night? This is the front lines of the pandemic. The Tooth Fairy.
Poor parents are broke trying to just
feed the kids,
shit, and they got to go out and buy an Easter basket now,
Yeah.
because the fucking prime minister said so.
The Easter Bunny. They couldn't tell their kids, no Easter this year.
Who's the Easter Bunny's boss, you think?
The Easter Bunny's boss would have to be Santa's, probably the senior fairy tale, right? Do you think they're in communication?
I'll go with that.
I had a great time on this podcast, Ed.
Dude,
great
you're
job.
killing it these days.
Great job. So much fun.
You're thriving in this pandemic, my friend.
I'm always funny when the world's ending. It's really sad to see a lot of this, and I'm trying to stay up. Like I said at the beginning of the show, trying to stay positive. Lost another comedian today. Vic Henley, good buddy of mine, passed away. I don't even know how he died. I don't even know if it was coronavirus. I just got the news. He was such a funny guy, Vic Henley. Big smile, southern accent. Always had nice things to say. Still owes me $40 from poker 20 years ago. Great guy. Great guy, Vic Henley. And all these musicians. Most people recover, but not everybody recovers. And I'm a big fan of this next of our honoree this week. Sad to see him go. I remember hearing great stories about him from my buddy John Mayer, who spent some time writing with him and getting to know him. And whenever I'm in the mood to crank up Ain't No Sunshine, I mean, this is the guy. David Tell and I, when we walk on stage, we come out to Just the Two of Us. So this time our Roast in Peace tribute is to the great musical mastermind, Bill Withers.
Bill Withers, one of the greatest singers of all time, passed away last week. You might know him best from Ain't No Sunshine, Just the Two of Us, Lean on Me, Use Me, Lovely Day, Grandma's Hands, Who Is He and What Is He to You? Harlem. The dude did nothing but make hits in his 15-year career and then quit the business and just lived off it forever like a champ. I loved him, man.
I love this music. I know that this pandemic is a real thing because we lost the most positive soul singer of all time this week to coronavirus.
No.
I know that Bill Withers sings I know 26 times without taking a breath, and I can only do it 12 times. Lean on me. Unfortunately, due to social distancing, leaning on people is no longer allowed. Bill Withers liked to prove he could say the same thing over and over again until he ran out of breath, just like my Aunt Donna. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, unless her name is Corona. Fuck her. Bill, I wish this wasn't true. We're down to just the one of us. Rest in peace, Bill Withers. Life is hard, but we're getting through it together. When I feel blue, I put on some Rodney Dangerfield on YouTube. People have been writing to me and saying that they've been doing that too lately.
I mean, it is unstoppable. You know what? I haven't told you about this yet. I've been watching a lot of Buddy Hackett.
Oh, I love that.
His long jokes are so funny. Because he'll sit there and tell a joke for 10 minutes and then there's no laughs, and then he'll just hit you with like 4 words at the end and you fall out of your chair. He's unbelievable.
Maybe that's how we should end the podcast tonight.
Yeah.
We'll do our plugs and then we'll go out with a Buddy Hackett joke.
I love that.
I kind of like that.
All the stuff of him on Carson is just perfect.
Yeah, that's great. Once again, thank you to James Adomian for playing Joe Biden on the show today. That was really funny. Go to roastmastergeneral.com for all things me. Pick up your Emotional Support Human t-shirts on the website. Bumping Mics, back in business, July 3rd in Las Vegas. August 1st in Atlantic City. August 7th with Keegan, Illinois. Finally. August 8th, Des Moines, Iowa. Thank God I've made it. August in Iowa. August 9th, Kansas City, Missouri at the Uptown Theater. August 27th, my hood, Morristown, New Jersey, at the Mayo Performing Arts Center. August 28th in Munhall, PA, Carnegie of Homestead Music Hall. August 29th, Tarrytown, New York at the Music Hall, Bumping Mics. Me and Dave Attell. Keep an eye out for more dates. Pick up your Bumping Mics vinyl. Check me out on Cameo. I'll make you a personalized cameo. They're a lot of fun. I've been having fun with it.
Dude, they're the best.
It's a fun thing to do in my underwear during quarantine. Gilbert Gottfried turned me on to him. You can also hit up Gilbert on Cameo. Thank you again, Gilbert, for cheering me up.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to do for people who have like birthdays during the quarantine time too, because you can't celebrate, you can't go see them. You know, you can just like have Jeff send him a birthday message, which I think is the coolest.
All right, rate and review Thick Skin with Jeff Ross on iTunes. Subscribe to our YouTube page. There's a lot of fun videos out there. Thick Skin with Jeff Ross at Gmail. Folks, I'll say it one more time. Life is hard, but don't worry. We're getting through it together. Taking away the great one, Mr. Buddy Hackett.
I'm not talking like him. He's talking like me.
We were talking about donating organs to science or to somebody after you pass away.
Well, there's some people that don't have the same organs everybody has. For instance, a guy goes to the doctor. And he says, "Hey, I've been talking this way all my life. I want to talk like a regular person." The doctor said, "I have your file here, and having examined you, the only difference between you and other people is that you have been more sexually endowed than most people in the sense that in some place where you should have 2, you have 4. In other words, you can get a free pass to first base, is what the doctor said. So now, the guy says, "Well, I really want regular. The doctor said, we can perform an operation and reduce you to normalcy, and perhaps that will affect your voice. So the guy says, okay. So after the operation, a few weeks pass, and the patient comes back. He says, Doc, I'm talking normally, but things are not exactly the way they were, and I prefer to have things put back the way they were. And the doctor said, that's impossible. Those have been destroyed.